You have to get to know yourself in a way that allows you to be yourself in every aspect of your life, because you're the only person who do what you do the way you do it. Javeno is the only person who do it what he does the way that he does it. But that doesn't mean all of us can't show up and change lives. We're going to do it in our own way. We're going to do it and the impact's going to be massive, but you cannot do it if you are turning a switch on and off because you don't have that genuine care and connection to yourself. Yeah. So you can do it with others. Welcome to the Be It Till You See It podcast, where we talk about taking messy action, knowing that perfect is boring. I'm Lesley Logan, Pilates instructor and fitness business coach. I've trained thousands of people around the world, and the number one thing I see stopping people from achieving anything is self-doubt. My friends, action brings clarity, and it's the antidote to fear. Each week, my guests will bring bold, executable, intrinsic, and targeted steps that you can use to put yourself first and be it till you see it. It's a practice, not a perfect. Let's get started. Welcome back to the Be It Till You See It interview recap, where my co-host in life, Brad, and I are going to dig into the inspiring convo I have with Javeno McLean in our last episode. If you haven't yet listened to that interview, you need to stop.
Yeah, you need to stop. You need to go cry while you're listening to it, like I did.
Cry? Okay? Like happy tears.
Oh, the most inspiring, happy, amazing. Yeah. Like just listening to him talk about it, his passion for what it is that he does was it was emotional. It was amazing. It was incredible.
Yeah. I mean, you guys, it's a true episode on like what your life can be like when you truly be it till you see it, and you don't take no for an answer, and you don't take the whatever people think the rules are. Anyways, go listen. Then if you've listened already and now you're back, welcome back.
Welcome back.
Now you can hear our versions of what we loved about this man.
Javeno McLean.
Javeno McLean. All right. Before we get into our takeaways, today is Anti-Bullying Day.
Yeah, it is Anti-Bullying Day. And you know that we are very anti-bullying.
Yeah.
In fact, OPC sponsors an anti-bullying charity organization.
Bloom Foundation. And we are actually interviewing Andy. Well, by the time you've heard this, I've interviewed Andy for the pod. And she's also been inside the OPC community to share tips around preventing bullying and also how to handle it when it's happened to you. Yeah. And especially for my moms out there, those are going to be great things that you can share with your kiddos, because they're the ones who are really going through it. But as adults, you can get bullied too. So
yeah. And while that's all super helpful and awesome, today's also another day.
Tell us what day it is.
It is dun, 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 dun. May the 4th. It's Star Wars Day. You okay over there? What's happening?
I'm just making sure I can hear in my ears.
Okay. Well, it's Star Wars Day. So I'm happy. I'm excited about that. If you don't know, I'm a big Star Wars junkie. Have been since I was yay big.
Last year, May the 4th, ended up on a Tuesday, and I did a whole Star Wars class with lightsabers.
Oh, yes.
And
yes, you
our
did.
team was able to somehow,
sneak in the Star Wars music and appropriate some stuff, and no one got mad at us for 1 week. And now it's off, so you can't get mad. It's already happened. It's been done. You can't get mad. No bullying. It's anti-bullying day. Anti-bullying. Leave us alone.
Leave us alone.
It's Star Wars Day.
Anyways.
All right, this week, what do we got going on?
So we have Pilates Day happening. If you're listening to this in real time, Pilates Day is happening in 2 days, and it's a really big day. I'm doing something with toe socks, Tavi Noir, and Vore, so make sure you are on the gram on Pilates Day, which is May 6th, for a workout with me. And because of them. So
who should they be following?
I believe we're gonna do it on Tavi Active's Instagram. So Tavi Active. But just come to my Instagram. You're gonna see all the things, because actually, if you want to win some awesomeness, you're gonna need to do some stuff. But you can also just take the class for free and win nothing, except for just have a great time with me on Pilates Day. Let's get us all moving. That's happening this Saturday. We are also going to want to make sure that you are checking your emails on Pilates Day. No matter which email you're subscribed to with us, we have a massive announcement from the online Pilates classes.com business. And we want to share it with everybody. So
it's a massive announcement.
It's massive.
It's a really big deal.
It's such a big deal.
I don't even say that facetiously. I mean,
it's a big
deal. This is a big deal for the company. We're really fired up about some incredible things that our team has been kicking ass and working on. Yeah. And we can't wait to share all of that with you.
Yeah. So you'll just check your email on Saturday. And then that brings us to next month, which is June in real time. Yeah. And we're actually not doing a lot of traveling in June, but apparently it's like travel to Vegas month. So we have a lot of amazing friends. Some of your favorite past guests are coming to Vegas. So shout out to Lauren and Carrie and some of our best friends in life. Hello, Sue. But we are doing a Profitable Pilates webinar again. So we did that in April. It was a huge success. You all loved it. You said you wanted more. We are doing one in June. So you're going to want to go to
the wait list. Get on the wait list here so that you get a special invite to this webinar.
You get surveyed on what the webinar should be. You get extra time to sign up as an early bird, and you can win a prize. So that's prfit.biz/workshops. And you can just go to the show notes if you're like, what is PRFIT? It's like a weird way to spell profit.
Yeah, just go to the show notes. You'll see prfit.biz/workshops in there. And then we've got some upcoming trips. Y'all are very well aware this month, it's May right now.
Yeah. So we're going to Seoul.
Yeah, we're going to be in Korea.
Yeah, we're going to Seoul. We're going to be at the Balanced Body Pilates on tour where we will have flashcards there. So you should get yourself there. And
July.
Then July, we're going to go to the UK. You want to go to opc.me/UK if you want to meet us there. But we're actually going to be at Claire Sparrow's studio.
Up in Leeds.
Doing what we call a mullet tour, which is business in the morning, Pilates in the afternoon. And yes, we found mullets to put on the
it's the ads. Business in the front, Pilates in the back.
But
that's how it goes.
We found outlines of mullets to put on the flyers.
We did.
We are going to want your ticket. August, we're going to go on tour. It's a West Coast tour, and you're going to want to get on the wait list for that, or you're going to want to hit us up if you want us to stop at your place. opc.me/tour.
September.
Poland. You can sign up now.
You can totally sign up right now. It's available. Go to ContrologyPilatesConference.com.
Yes.
It is the first few days of September.
Yes.
So make sure you go check that out. ContrologyPilatesConference.com.
And there's other amazing teachers there, so it's not just me. So it's a big bang for your buck.
Yeah, it's going to be awesome, actually. Looking forward to it. October.
We're going to Cambodia.
We're going back to Cambodia. Cannot wait.
Yeah. So,
we still have some spots, y'all. So
we have a few spots left,
and it's not too late to book that.
We haven't even booked our flights.
We haven't even booked our flights yet. So don't you worry. There's so much time to do that still, and you can come with a partner, friend, fam, whatever, solo. Doesn't matter. We've had lots of solo, single female travelers join us over the years on that trip. So if that's you and you're interested in how that would work for you, just reach out to us. Go to leslielogan.co/retreat. November.
We're going to be in Miami. There's a Miami Pilates on tour with Balanced Body. Obviously, all the amazing people will be there, but Erica Quest and I are going to do a fun hopping and happening thing before that.
Yeah, we get to hang with EQ.
Mm-hmm. It's going to be great. Amazing people. So if you want to know what's happening in Miami in November, well, hit us up. Okay, that's the
updates.
That's
y'all.
Our calendar.
Yeah, I know.
You better see us in person this year. That's all I'm saying, because we're getting out.
We're getting out, y'all. All right, quick. We had an audience question.
Cool.
Yeah, hit us up here. What do we got?
Allison Whipple said, LL, was there a specific moment or event that helped you realize your vision for OPC was going to be able to offer something online platforms couldn't?
Other online platforms couldn't, right.
And when and how did you know you could meet a specific need? Okay, so this is a great question. I'll be real honest. I don't actually think I knew I could do it. I could meet a specific need. I just knew I had to try to do it. And so I would
say that we were faced with a challenge, right? Because what ended up happening was we were doing, so if you haven't heard this story before, I'll keep it brief, but we were doing a lot of SEO homework for blogging purposes, right? Mm-hmm. And when Meredith on our team came back and said, hey, P.S., the most common searched, or the most searched phrase is Pilates classes online, I started dropping that into URL, GoDaddy, and I found onlinepilatesclasses.com, which then we had this amazing domain. And it was like, well, what are we going to do with this? We obviously have to make it online Pilates classes.
You're actually right. So then, Allison, here's where the truth goes. They told me I had to do something with this.
Yeah, we knew we had to do it. But then the question was, well, what would set us apart?
Yeah, because you know, like, I believe every single person has a uniqueness, and I didn't want to do it the way everyone else has been doing it because I'm already on a platform. I'm already on Pilates Anytime. You can go there. There's I have tons of classes. But so how can I be different? How can what we offer be unique, different? So why would you choose us? And so I didn't want to go, they're bad, we're good. It's just like, they're them and we're us, and how are we different? And I had to go back to like, what are the things I value the most?
Yeah.
And so we've talked, if you were following along when our websites went down back in March, I was very specifically saying, you got to know what your values are.
Yeah, mission, vision, values.
Yeah, because your values are how you make decisions on everything. And so my values are community, consistency, and connection. And so how can we use those things to make sure that what we created does that? And so hello, accountability queen. And that's why we take the classes away. And that's why we have such an emphasis on people posting in the community and being part of the community. And also we don't prioritize you finishing class. We actually prioritize you taking any amount that works for you, so you get that connection to yourself. And so that's kind of like,
yeah, we did look for some differentiators and stuff, so that was intentional. There's that in there, but at the end of the day, you don't have to reinvent the wheel, but you have to be true to your values.
Yeah. And also I think, like, I remember when Brad was, not only did we find this URL and he's like, we have to use it, it was also like, you're traveling so much, you owe it to the people who take your classes every week to give them something.
Yep.
And I had a lot of people in my classes in LA, but it wasn't like, let's be honest, not all of them, most of them are not members. I love you guys if you're listening, but you didn't sign up. We made this for you. But like, I knew it had to be, I was like, okay, but why would they take this online class instead of taking from my sub? Like, what is the unique differentiator there? And I also wanted to take what I loved about in-person classes, which is I love when people are like, hey, I'm going to see you in class on Friday. And I also loved when people talk about, oh my gosh, you missed class today.
Yeah.
And then, so I just
that's the community aspect.
Yeah.
I mean, and that was super important for me too, because I loved that about the yoga community that I was in. And that was, after that initial couple years of being on fire about my own practice, the thing that kept me going to class were the people. Yeah. The community, and the question was, especially when, the world changed with COVID, like, how do we actually generate or create a community environment virtually, and that became our challenge, that we really, really tried to solve.
Well, so. I had to be it till we see it.
Right.
Like, I had to be the community I wanted them to be in that group.
Yeah.
And so, I would say there was a specific moment, Allison, in that Brad made me do it. And also I was like, well, if I'm going to do it, I was going to put up every obstacle sort of in the way to like make him show me we could do it the way I wanted to. I didn't want to do it the way that I didn't done. And so now we're celebrating year 5 and we have over 500 amazing members. I hope that grows, because it just means that more epic people are connecting and meeting each other and supporting each other. And the world's a better place when you're connected to yourself. It just is, period, end of story. So I hope that answers your question. And now that we've done doing this for 5 years, I'm super confident we're kicking ass at it. So so there was definitely a lot of flying by the seat of our pants, living moment to moment and being it till we see it.
Yeah, holy crap. We're almost at a 5-year anniversary this summer.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yeah. This is actually a really big year. I just want you all to know it's technically 10 years from when I was homeless right now. And then it's 10 years from the book published. It's 5 years. Like this is like a, I don't know. I got to
5 years from OPC.
5 years for agency. Like, I don't know. Something was really going on in my life.
6 years from our first trip to Cambodia.
Yeah. Well, now that doesn't work. Get out. That's an outlier. Anyways, thank you so much.
Yeah. All righty. Okay. Now let's talk about Javeno McLean. He is a compassionate fitness trainer from Manchester, England, who specializes in helping people with disabilities and health challenges find joy and empowerment through exercise. He's an advocate for treating everyone as normal and redefining boundaries. Javeno inspires his clients to break through limitations and discover their true potential. And if that just sounds like kitschy and like good for him, go watch his fucking Instagram. It will make you cry.
Oh my God. Whenever I think that like there's not anything good going on in the world, I go and just like, you all know I don't scroll, but I like literally go, I look for his account and I just watch him until I catch up.
It's just amazing. Like really the enthusiasm. And again, if you listen to the episode already, you understand his enthusiasm.
Yeah.
And it's incredibly contagious. It's so empowering. And he uses his personality and who he is as a force. May the force be with him. May the fourth be with him. Because
I really hope he listens to this, and I really hope that he realizes that you just I don't, is that a good thing to say? May the fourth be with, may the force be, does that like
may the fourth be with you.
I'm so sorry. I don't watch Star Wars. Is it like a good send off, or it's like, oh, good luck? Like, is it like a, like, you got this?
The good guys say it to each other.
Oh, okay, great. It's a good thing.
Yeah,
great.
Yeah.
Okay.
May the force be with you. Yeah. All right.
Well, the force is with him.
The force is with Javeno.
It is really with him.
Yeah, it's incredible.
So I really enjoyed. So we had a couple. There's a lot that I just really enjoyed, but something that, you know, when he talked about treating people normal, who we may consider like have disabilities or disadvantages, it made me think of like, treat people the way they want to be treated. I think like when we come across people with disabilities, we start to think like, sorry.
Are we talking about the breaking the golden rule? Not treat people how you want to be treated, but treat people how they want to be treated.
Yeah. So I'm kind of bringing that in here for just to kind of summarize what Javeno was saying, which is like, I think a lot of us don't know how to, like, we've never been in a body that doesn't have an ability. Right. We most of us have been blessed to learn pretty much the way most people learn, to move the way pretty much most people learn. And so we don't always know what it's like to be in another person's body that doesn't have those abilities anymore, or had them and then lost them because he works with people with strokes or cancer, things like that.
Right.
And so we kind of treat them with kid gloves. And if you remember, he told a story about how like there was a trainer on his team who like was having this guy like lift 1 pound,
2 pounders,
2 pound weights. And then when the trainer
kid's
left,
like built and he's 19.
Yeah.
And he's just like, oh God, why are we doing this?
And then the trainer left and the kid got up, got a glass of water.
Right.
Javeno was like, don't you ever let anyone treat you like that.
Yeah. He said, steal your power, I think is what he said. Yeah.
Yes. And so I really liked that he is really passionate about all of us seeing people with strength that they could have, and really helping and meeting them where they are and bringing them to another place, and not assuming that they're not going to be able to do something just because they don't have the ability. Right. So I think you know, to take that to the next step is he treats them, he specifically said, normal is amazing, is what everyone should be treating everyone as, no matter if there is, you know, they're in a wheelchair. And that's the example that he was using. Yeah.
And he said, when specifically with that 19-year-old, his dad came over and he's like a big dude. And he was like, is this gonna be bad? And his dad like started crying and hugged him and said, you know, since my son's been in a wheelchair, nobody knows how to treat him and nobody challenges him because they treat him as if he's broken, and you treated him as if he's normal, and you challenged him as if he's normal. And we are so grateful for you for doing that.
You know, when I first started teaching, one of my, and maybe I said this in the episode, and forgive me, I'll hit it twice, but one of my mentors, my mentor at the time, she said, hey, can you sub for me? I have a meeting and I can't teach this client. And I was like, yeah, sure. Is there anything you need to know? And she said, nope, she can do it all. You know, she has some asymmetry. She said she has asymmetries, but we all do. So you'll work just fine with her. So y'all, she shows up with one leg, and I was a brand new teacher. And I was like, well, that's what? Like my head is like, I don't know. My training program didn't have anything that said anything about
right. Like, what do you do? Like, how, you know, like all of a sudden everything that you know is like not necessarily relevant. Maybe not everything, but a lot of the things that you were probably planning.
Well, it just felt like that because I had never experienced that before, right? Yeah. I had not. And so I just said, hi. I said, hi, I'm Lesley. I'm going to teach you today. Carrie says you love how you feel after this. Is there a place you want to start? Is there a favorite place you like to start? And she said, yeah, we usually start over here on the Cadillac. And I said, great, let's do that. Is there anything going on with your body today that feels different than usual? And she said, I just feel really tight in my hip. And I'm like, all right, I'm going to try. I'm going to do my best. So instead of going, what can't she do?
Right.
I asked myself, what can she do? And I just started to go through the list of exercises that I go through with an able body, she's an able body. She just only had one leg. With a person with 2 legs, I should just be more clear. And just started doing it. And you know what is very interesting is I learned so much from her that day because first of all, I learned that most of us who have 2 legs don't stand on both of them anyways. And we should because it's better. And 2, it was really cool to just challenge her body for what it could do that day. She thanked me. I said for her a few more times. It was just such a cool thing. And so he brought up when he believes that genuine, wholesome interactions between able-bodied and disabled individuals can inspire and uplift everyone. I learned so much from her that day. It really changed my mind on who I could help. And it gave me a lot of confidence, but also I learned we tend to see people and go, they can't do these things instead of really focus on what is possible. And I think that happens with able-bodied people too. Too often we put obstacles in our way and we think we can't do something. And it's really cool if you can put yourself in a space with someone who is different than you in any kind of capacity, and you'll start to see what is possible for everybody.
Yeah, he said he believes that genuine, wholesome interactions between able-bodied and disabled individuals can inspire and uplift everyone involved.
Yeah.
And not kidding, that's what is happening on his Instagram.
Yeah, it really is. And it really shows you just how much power we all have. And if you ever find yourself in a position where you are not able to do the things you used to do, I genuinely would like to challenge you. And you might have to find someone like Javeno to help you see that you've got possibility in there.
Yeah. Well, speaking of that, that's a perfect segue into what I really loved, because he talked about you asked him, what's in it for you? And basically, I summed it up there.
Because he doesn't charge this group of people.
Yeah. Yeah. He actually built an entire gym that's free for people who, they're either suffering for something or they, are disabled or whatever. And, that's actually, pretty amazing. He does have a whole nother business where he's working with athletes and stuff like that. But he said that what's in it for him is the impact that he's having, not just on the individual that he's working with, but also the community, the family, the ripple effect that happens, when, for example, we already talked about the 19-year-old's dad, but also he said just getting messages from the family about how the people that he's working with are taking that back home into their normal everyday lives, challenging themselves, and how that's been benefiting everyone around those individuals. And also too, especially with social media, because of the reach that he's able to have, he's been able to now affect people around the world. And he said it's been, I actually feel like this is a project that he's been doing for a really long time, but I think the impact is suddenly starting to really grow, catch on. If you've seen, he's gotten tens of thousands of new followers over the last month. He's like 100,000 new followers in the last month.
Since I asked him on the podcast, he has not doubled, but it's almost doubled his followers. So it just shows
pretty crazy. And he said he's been getting DMs now of people sharing videos saying, "Hey man, because of your work with people who are like me, it's really challenged me." And he said he got this incredible video of a young boy who is in a wheelchair, and he pushed himself up with his arms, and he held himself up for 20 seconds. And when he set himself back down, he said, "I did this because you inspired me to do this. I didn't think I could do this before.
No, it's just like,
yeah,
I think we all, no matter what state your body is in, and no matter what your abilities are, like, we all can be inspired by somebody, but my goodness, like, we can, like, what a gift his videos have given this person who doesn't even live in town. He can't even work with Javeno in person.
Yeah, and just to like lay it on thick, I'm gonna read actually verbatim, and he's screaming, saying, you know, Jay, look what I did. And he was crying his eyes out, saying, because he watched my videos, it made him realize that that the wheelchair doesn't define him, and he can do what Josh did in the video. And Josh is one of his clients. And I mean, y'all, it's just like so powerful.
I mean,
what he's doing.
If you think social media is just a place of like darkness and not awful stuff, I challenge you to find accounts like Javeno, because they are out there. We try to be that as well in a different capacity. Obviously Javeno's like slaying it, but like, my goodness, you can find things that are really affecting people in just massive ways. And I mean, I'm so glad this kid found him. Like,
yeah, pretty amazing. And y'all, also what's so fun is, like, you know how he decided to choose how to be on Leslie's pod? Did you hear that?
I didn't know
cool
this.
Is that?
I did not know this. He did not tell me.
Yeah.
So what happened was,
he didn't tell you before the interview.
No, he didn't tell me before the interview. So here's what happened. So I've been watching him for a while, and when I started watching him, he was like, you know, he had thousands more followers than I did, but I just was like, oh, I want to have him on the pod someday. And then something happened. We brought him up. I don't know how he came back up in my life, but we spent an hour watching his reels, because I was like crying in my red light going, look at this video, it's amazing. And we just kept watching it, and I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna fucking ask him. Right, because I had this like mindset like, oh my gosh, why would he be on the podcast? Like, so I asked him, and I didn't hear anything for like 4 or 5 days, and I figured, no big deal, I'm probably in purgatory, it happens, like whatever, like I didn't have any attachment. But when he did respond, it was a voice message. You guys, I voice message my followers too, because I know it makes people's day. I almost
she came running into the room screaming. I didn't know his name, so she's yelling, Javeno, and I was like, I don't know what that means.
Javeno. And I was like, listen to this. No, listen to this. And like, he was like, Lesley, with his Jamaican accent. No, Lesley, Jamaican UK accent. Like, and I was like, I can't even do it. I'm not even trying. But like, it was just so, oh my God, it made my day. And like, then you guys do just as how kismet it was. He booked in for the pod 3 days later. I never have availability for it's in 3 days. And I was like, oh my God, it's happening. It's happening. And like, I was like, don't be a fangirl. Just like just don't be a fan.
But then he said,
this is why he was on the pod.
Yeah. Then he said that the reason is because I can't remember if it was an actual book he was reading that had it in there, or if he wrote it in his journal.
He showed it in the video. He pulled out all of his journals, and he said, in this journal, I wrote, be it till you see it.
Wow.
And that's why he chose
That's why he chose to be on the pod. Because he said he gets approached all the time now to be on pods. And he said, oh, I got to meet this girl. And then he booked in. So anyway, we're grateful. That's really rad. And what a kindred spirit, kismet, all those things. So.
I know. I'm hoping we're going to see him in real life in July. Javeno.
Oh yeah, we're coming. We're coming.
We're going to see him.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Because apparently it's right next to Leeds.
Great.
He's right next to it. So yeah. Anyways, okay. He's just clearly we're fangirling now.
Okay, so finally, let's talk about those be it action items. What bold, executable, intrinsic, or targeted action items can we take away from your conversation with Javeno McLean? I'm going to jump in. So basically, redefining your boundaries, okay? So Javeno's approach to helping people with disabilities or illnesses by focusing on the potential and pushing them beyond their perceived limitations, right? So again, going back to the 19-year-old who was lifting the 2-pound weights, when he basically got in the kid's face and he's like, what are you doing? I just saw you get up and get a glass of water. Like, you can lift more than 2-pound weights. Like, we need to get you going for real. Another one, which was amazing, was he had the girl come in and said, I've never been able to do a press up. And they ended up doing 35 press ups in that first session. And she was like freaking out. And he's like, wait till next week.
Yeah.
Like we're just getting started here.
I love this because in this be it action item, you may need to bring on someone who can see what your potential is. If you are having a hard time seeing that because the ways that you've tried something have failed before and you are having a hard time pumping yourself up, this is where you have to like outsource that, in last week's episode with Jake Kelfer, he said like hire a coach because you'll get there faster. Right. And so getting a trainer like Javeno, our trainer, right? Like I have never bench pressed. I'm bench pressing over 100 pounds now.
Yeah, you are.
Like I know. But like I wasn't even going to go. And she was like, you can do this. And like, so it's really, we have our own story that we've been telling ourselves for a long time. And sometimes it's because someone told us a story and then we took it on. We're like, let me just put that on repeat. It's such a good story. Let me just listen to it again. So sometimes we have to hire someone or bring someone on our team or into our lives who can help us see our new potential. And what is so cool is once they've unlocked it, you can't put it back in the box.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, I think also too, he's got like a secret with this, pushing boundaries. That secret is his like high vibration, his vibe, right? His enthusiasm, his excitement, because the challenge doesn't come across in an antagonistic way. It comes across in an encouraging way that it's magic. I mean, it's truly incredible how he's able to help people in that way.
I think that magic comes from the next takeaway. So the next speed action I was like, cultivate genuine care and connection. I think it is so much easier to have that magic when you are present and you are connecting with people. And that is, I mean, let's just like go back to why OPC exists, right? It's all about if you connect to yourself, you can connect more to others. That was my thing. When I did Pilates for the first time, I actually felt parts of my body I never felt before. And then I was like, I got to tell everybody about this. I'm going to tell everybody. I was like a prophet. Proselyte. That's the word. I was a proselyte. It's like
usually that's associated with religion, but we'll go with Pilates.
You know what? The other day, some was Fortune Feemster who needs to be on the pod. Who knows her? I want her on, and her mom is very conservative and is doing all this stuff with LGBTQ stuff. And she's like, my mom, she's doing the Lord's work. And it's like, yes, she is. So yes. And we're taking the religious words and making them better. So anyways, going back to Javeno though, it's like, once I was able to connect myself, I felt like I belonged in my body, which has made it easier for me to belong to others. It made it easier for me to actually care about what other people were going through.
Sure.
And I think we have a whole world of people who are so fucking disconnected. They don't even, their heads and their bodies are two separate things. They don't even know their digestive problems are not normal. They're like, we have a problem, an epidemic of people who like do not have connection to themselves and therefore they cannot connect with other people. And what we're seeing with Javeno is he's so connected to himself. He's so connected to his mission. He's so connected to what he values that he can have this genuine care and connection with other people. He can be that present with them. He can have that magic. It's not something it's not a switch he turns on. Like,
no.
Oh,
I mean, clearly not, because the way he signed on to the podcast, I mean, I was like, oh, he's the same. Yeah. In his Instagram videos and on this pod, like he's the same.
Yes. And so how do you cultivate genuine care and connection? Well, here's a couple things he said, like, treat everyone normal, like notice notice the potential in everybody, right? And you'll see transformation. And he says in your relationships, like focus on truly noticing people and understanding their stories and providing a sense of genuine care and connection. We can only do this, guys, if we're present, and we cannot be present if we're not connected to ourselves. So if you are having trouble being present in your life, you do need to take a little selfish time.
Yeah.
But like true selfish time, self-care time, to get connected to yourself, to figure out what makes you happy, to figure out like,
go back
who you
to
are.
Die Manuel, right? Like the 2% of your day, 30 minutes. Yeah. Right? He did, 15 minutes of workout.
Of movement, of 5 minutes of meditation, 10 minutes of self-development.
Something like that. 10 minutes of reading. I think that's exactly right. You can do whatever
you want in those 30 minutes as long as you move.
But it's only 2% of your day. 2%.
And so start with that. Okay. If you listen to Javeno and go, I could never do something like that. Wrong. Yes, you can. You're not going to do it with that attitude, but you need to, but you have to get to know yourself in a way that allows you to be yourself in every aspect of your life, because you're the only person who do what you do the way you do it. Javeno is the only person who do it what he does the way that he does it. But that doesn't mean all of us can't show up and change lives. We're going to do it in our own way. We're going to do it and the impact's going to be massive, but you cannot do it if you are turning a switch on and off because you don't have that genuine care and connection to yourself. Yeah. So you can do it with others.
Well, here's the deal, y'all. We love what Javeno is doing. We are inspired by it, and we want to help him do it. He has a big goal coming up. I don't know exactly when, of actually breaking another Guinness World Record of having the largest workout of disabled people in the world.
Yes.
And he wants to do it in like a massive space, like potentially even a stadium.
Yes. And who do you know? Everyone ask yourself, who do I know who has a connection to an owner of a stadium?
Probably in England would make it easier for him, but he could fly anywhere. But obviously we're going to be, he's got to be taking people in there. Anyway, what his big ask was, just follow him on the gram where you can stay in touch with him and find out when he's going to be doing all these things. And then he wants to be able to set people up on a Jumbotron where they can zoom in and he can have the most people in person, plus people from around the world, all tuning into this workout all at the same time. And I just think it's unbelievably awesome.
I love it so much. So seriously though, who do you know who might know someone in the UK who has access to a stadium? I bet you know someone. Oh, you might know someone. Maybe Allison knows somebody who's related to...
We're going to find out.
The Beckhams. Anyways, I'm already figuring out. You guys, I'm Lesley Logan.
And I'm Brad Crowell.
Truly, thank you so much for being here today. We could not do this podcast without you. We could not spread Javeno's message without you. So thank you for what you, for being listeners of the show, for sharing it the way you do.
A big heartfelt ask here from us. Like, the reality is this podcast grows when you leave reviews on whatever platform it is that you're listening to right now, right? So if you love what's happening here, love tuning in, first off, we're super grateful, and secondly, we need your help. A review will change the trajectory of this pod, and we need that.
It's literally how some people say yes to this podcast is based on reviews. And then if you've left a review, thank you so much. Sharing this podcast is the lifeblood that makes us get out there. So what Javeno does has really inspired you, share it with somebody, because not only does that mean his message gets out there more, but this podcast continues to grow. The community this podcast affects continues to grow. And honestly, it makes it easier for all of us to be it till we see it.
Bye for now.
That's all I got for this episode of the Be It Till You See It podcast. One thing that would help both myself and future listeners is for you to rate the show and leave a review. And follow or subscribe for free wherever you listen to your podcasts. Also, make sure to introduce yourself over at the Be It Pod on Instagram. I would love to know more about you. Share this episode with whoever you think needs to hear it. Help us and others be it till you see it. Have an awesome day. Be It Till You See It is a production of the Blue Podcast Network.
It's written, filmed, and recorded by your host, Lesley Logan, and me, Brad Crowell.
It is produced and edited by the epic team at Diseño.
Our theme music is by Ali at Apex Production Music, and our branding by designer and artist Gianfranco Chofa.
Special thanks to Melissa Solomon for creating our visuals and Samena Velasquez for our transcriptions.
Also to Angelina Herrico for adding all the content to our website. And finally to Meredith Crowell for keeping us all on point and on time. Okay. All right. Well,
are we ready?
No, not quite.
Okay. We have a question. Got it. Javeno McLean.
All the rest of them. Okay. I think we are ready.
We're ready. I'm ready. How's that wall, Gaia? Jeez. I don't know. She's always looking at the wall in here.
Not looking at the wall. Her nose is a half an inch from the wall.
Yeah. She's like in it. Go, Gaia. Way to go.
Okay. I'm ready.
Finally. Jeez.
Cheese and crackers.
Always waiting on Brad. Always. Okay, I'm ready.
All right. Let's do this. You gotta actually sit up. you look like I try to put it closer to you, but you look like you're on like a third of the screen.
I think this is the chair's fault.
Okay. Ready?
Yes.
Go ahead.